The Al-Nahyan royal family of Abu Dhabi sit on 6% of the world's oil and invest in everything from Rihanna's Savage X Fenty to Elon Musk's SpaceX. Their chandelier holds 350,000 crystals. Their presidential palace is 3 times the size of the Pentagon, and refueling one of their yachts cost $640,000. In 2023, they became the richest family on Earth with a net worth of $305 billion. But currently, that climbed to around $323 billion. This family has palaces across continents, yachts longer than skyscrapers, a car collection so large it needs its own museum, with 8 private jets on standby. What you think you know about old money, you're about to learn much more from this royal family of Abu Dhabi. So, let's peel back the gold curtain and see how wealth really lives. The family. The House of Nahyan is a branch of the Bani Yas tribe and has ruled Abu Dhabi since 1793, which is over 230 years of continuous rule. Though the path wasn't always smooth, 5 rulers were overthrown and 8 were killed in coups between 1793 and 1966. The family is currently led by UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al-Nahyan, known as MBZ. He's the president of the entire United Arab Emirates and the ruler of Abu Dhabi, the largest and wealthiest of the 7 emirates. MBZ has 18 brothers and 11 sisters, with 9 children and 18 grandchildren making up the current royal family. But the key players in managing the family's massive wealth are MBZ himself and his brother Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who operates as the UAE's top spymaster and oversees large portions of the family fortune. The power and wealth this family possess is undeniable. But how did they manage to build an empire that will outlast the oil age? The fortune. The foundation of the Al-Nahyan fortune is obvious. They control approximately 6% of the world's proven oil reserves. Abu Dhabi has been pumping oil since the 1960s, and decades of that revenue flowing into family coffers created the initial wealth base. But what makes the Al-Nahyans different from other oil-rich families is how they invested this money. Instead of just spending it on palaces and yachts, though they did plenty of that too, they invested aggressively and strategically. The family controls multiple sovereign wealth funds, including Abu Dhabi Investment Authority and Mubadala Investment Company, that have an estimated $1 trillion worth of assets under management. These are separate from their personal wealth. These are state funds they manage on behalf of Abu Dhabi. But their personal investment vehicle is where things get really interesting. Sheikh Mohammed oversees International Holding Co., whose value has surged almost 28,000% in the last 5 years, currently estimated at approximately $235 billion. The investment firm has become so valuable that domestic investors familiar with the company consider it too royal to fail, though it's too opaque for some international institutions to bet on. Their investments span an almost absurd range of industries. They've invested in everything from Rihanna's Savage X Fenty lingerie line to Elon Musk's SpaceX. They own stakes in fast food chains, big data companies, robotics firms, and fashion brands. Royal Group acts as a command center for Sheikh Mohammed. In addition to investing in an array of companies, it flies in world-class chefs to cook for the family and hires their personal bodyguards. The diversification strategy is intentional. While known for their oil wealth, the Al-Nahyan family invests heavily in diversifying the UAE's economy, focusing on developing sectors like tourism, technology, and renewable energy. They're preparing for a post-oil future while still extracting maximum value from oil in the present. Apart from being wise and strategic with investments in generational wealth, the Al-Nahyan family takes luxury more like personal business as well. Let's look at the palace. Let's start with where they actually live, because the Al-Nahyan presidential palace makes Buckingham Palace look modest. Qasr Al Watan, the presidential palace in Abu Dhabi, is valued at $475 to $490 million and spans 380,000 square meters. That makes it triple the size of the Pentagon. The palace features a 37-meter wide dome and a chandelier made of 350,000 crystal pieces. 350,000 crystals, in one chandelier. The sheer engineering required to create a chandelier that massive, while ensuring it's structurally sound and can actually hang from the ceiling, is remarkable. The palace is divided into eastern and western wings. The eastern wing houses a house of knowledge with historic artifacts, while the western wing serves official purposes and meetings. The palace was open to the public in 2019 and has become one of the most visited tourist attractions in the Middle East. Imagine your home is so extravagant that it becomes a tourist destination. People pay money just to walk through your house and marvel at the chandeliers. But Qasr Al-Watan is just the flagship. The family owns a dozen or so palaces worldwide, including Château de Bayonne north of Paris. Their international real estate portfolio is equally impressive. The Al-Nahyan family's real estate portfolio on foreign soil is valued at approximately $7 billion. In London alone, their holdings are legendary. Former family head Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al-Nahyan earned the moniker Landlord of London for his extensive property holdings. From Berkeley Square in Mayfair and the 95 buildings around it to the Time Life building on New Bond Street, along with high-end residential sites in Knightsbridge, Westminster, and Kensington, they own massive chunks of London's most expensive neighborhoods. By 2015, the Al-Nahyan empire was just behind the Crown Estate in the value of its London assets and ahead of the collective value of the Grosvenor Estate's London properties. They own more of London than most British aristocratic families who've been accumulating property for centuries. The family owns most of London's exclusive Berkeley Square, one of the most prestigious addresses in the city. When you control an entire historic square in central London, you're operating on a level of wealth most people can't comprehend. Next, the yachts. If you think the Al-Nahyan's land-based homes are impressive, their floating palaces are on another level entirely. The family owns some of the world's most luxurious mega-yachts, including the Azam and the Blue superyachts, each valued at $600 million. That's $1.2 billion in just 2 boats. Azam is the longest yacht in the world at 591 feet, or 590 feet in some measurements, substantially larger than Jeff Bezos's 417-foot Kourou. The Goliath was built for Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan and houses more than 100 people on board. Azam features a golf training room, and an army of 4,000 people were required to build it. The vessel features more mother-of-pearl than one could imagine, with interiors so lavish they required craftsmen from multiple countries working simultaneously. The Blue superyacht requires $640,000 just for refueling. That's more than most people earn in a decade, spent every time they need to refuel. The Lursen Blue is 525 feet long and is the 4th largest yacht in the world, owned by Sheikh Mansour. They also own the Lursen A+, formerly known as Topaz, which cost $500 million. 3 yachts, combined value over $1.7 billion. And these are just the ones we know about. The family likely owns other vessels that remain private. Azam, Blue, and A+ all feature in the top 10 largest yachts in the world. When you own 3 of the 10 biggest private yachts on the planet, you're not just wealthy, you're in a category of your own. Next, the jets. The Al-Nahyans don't fly commercial. They don't even fly private charter. They have their own air force. The family owns 8 private jets. The presidential fleet includes impressive aircraft like the Airbus A320-203 Boeing 787-9. But the real showstoppers are MBZ's personal planes. MBZ's personal collection boasts a $450 million Boeing 747 and a $180 million Boeing 787 that can house the entire royal family in utmost luxury. The plane itself costs maybe $400 to $450 million new from Boeing. And then the Al-Nahyans presumably spent tens of millions more outfitting it with luxury interiors that can accommodate a royal family in comfort for long-haul international flights. These are flying palaces with bedrooms, offices, conference rooms, lounges, and every amenity you could want at 40,000 feet. The $180 million Boeing 787 alone could transport the entire extended royal family with room to spare. 8 jets means the family can have multiple planes in different locations simultaneously. No waiting for a plane to return from another trip or coordinating schedules. Just call ahead and a jet is ready wherever you need it. Next, the cars. Most wealthy people have nice car collections, maybe 10 to 20 vehicles if they're really into it. The Al-Nahyans operate on a different scale. Sheikh Mohammed bin Al-Nahyan, the president's younger brother known as the Rainbow Sheikh, owns over 700 cars displayed in museums in the UAE and Morocco. The collection includes the world's largest SUV, 5 Bugatti Veyrons, a Lamborghini Reventon, a Ferrari 599XX, and a Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR. The Bugatti Veyrons alone represent roughly $10 to $15 million in cars. Each Veyron costs $2 to $3 million. The Ferrari 599XX and Mercedes CLK GTR are ultra-rare track-focused vehicles that sell for millions. The Lamborghini Reventon was limited to just 20 units worldwide and originally sold for $1.5 million. The Al-Nahyan dynasty's car collection is so huge they have their own museum, actually multiple museums since the collection is split between the UAE and Morocco. The world's largest SUV is particularly notable. It's a custom-built vehicle that's essentially a small building on wheels, designed specifically for Sheikh Mohammed's collection. This isn't even counting the cars owned by other family members. With 18 brothers, 11 sisters, plus children and grandchildren, the total number of luxury vehicles across the entire Al-Nahyan clan probably numbers in the thousands. Next, the sports empire. The Al-Nahyans aren't just passive investors. They own some of the most prominent sports franchises in the world. In 2008, the Abu Dhabi United Group, led by MBZ, acquired the UK football team Manchester City for $255 million. That investment has paid off spectacularly. Under Al-Nahyan ownership, Manchester City has won multiple Premier League titles, the UEFA Champions League, and become one of the most valuable football clubs in the world. The club is now worth several $billion, roughly 10 times what they paid for it. But they didn't stop with one team. The company holds an 81% stake in the City Football Group, which operates Manchester City, Mumbai City FC, Melbourne City FC, and New York City FC. The City Football Group model allows them to develop players across multiple continents, share resources and expertise, and build a truly international football brand. For the Al-Nahyans, owning football clubs isn't just about profit, though Manchester City's value appreciation has been excellent. It's about soft power, global influence, and putting Abu Dhabi on the map in ways that oil money alone never could. When Manchester City wins the Champions League, it's a win for Abu Dhabi. When millions of fans around the world wear Manchester City jerseys, they're unwittingly promoting the Al-Nahyan brand. Next, the investments. Beyond the palaces, yachts, jets, cars, and sports teams, the Al-Nahyans have built a diverse investment portfolio. Their investments span everything from fashion to space exploration, like Rihanna's lingerie line and Elon Musk's SpaceX. They're placing bets across every imaginable sector. Royal Group employs more than 27,000 people in fields from finance to robotics. That's essentially a multinational corporation run by and for the royal family, with tentacles reaching into industries most people wouldn't even think to invest in. The company is described as the most risk-tolerant of the major investment vehicles in Abu Dhabi, meaning they're willing to make aggressive bets that traditional sovereign wealth funds wouldn't touch. While sovereign funds like Mubadala and ADIA operate conservatively, focusing on stable returns and capital preservation, Royal Group swings for the fences. They invest in early-stage tech companies, emerging industries, and opportunities that might fail spectacularly, but could also generate the kind of explosive returns that took international holding company up 28,000% in 5 years. This diversification strategy is brilliant. Oil won't last forever. Even the Al-Nahyans know that. By investing aggressively in technology, finance, robotics, space exploration, and other future-focused industries, they're ensuring that the family fortune will survive and thrive long after the oil runs out. Now, let's look at the lifestyle. What's daily life actually like when you're part of the world's richest family? Royal Group flies in world-class chefs to cook for the family, not hiring local chefs or even expensive local restaurants, literally flying in the world's best chefs from wherever they happen to be to prepare specific meals. The company hires their personal bodyguards, meaning the family has dedicated security teams beyond what the UAE government provides. These are private, family-employed security professionals whose sole job is protecting Al-Nahyan family members. Their family vacations are voyages on 590-foot yachts with crews of 100+. Business trips are private jets worth hundreds of millions. Weekend getaways are stays at one of a dozen palaces scattered across multiple continents. The scale of staff required to maintain this lifestyle is astounding. Between the palaces, yachts, jets, cars, and investments, the Al-Nahyans probably employ tens of thousands of people, directly or indirectly. Pilots for 8 jets, crews for 3 massive yachts, staff for a dozen palaces, mechanics and specialists for 700+ cars, investment professionals managing over $235 billion in assets. And remember, international holding company alone is considered too royal to fail by domestic investors. The family's wealth is so intertwined with Abu Dhabi's economy that their success is essentially guaranteed by the state itself. The Al-Nahyan family's billion-dollar fortune isn't something you can fully wrap your head around. This isn't about buying fancy things, even though they've mastered that part. It's more about the wealth so deep it moves markets, shapes economies, and keeps power running for generations. When your chandelier holds 350,000 crystals, your yachts cost $600 million each, your jet is worth $450 million, and refueling a single boat costs more than most people's homes, you've moved past luxury and now live in a world where money bends to you. Now, what do you think about the Al-Nahyan family and their lifestyle? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below.